Hello and welcome to our first episode of the Heavyweight Havoc podcast. My name is Kale. You know me as on the TNT Boys podcast. This is joined with my co-host Yoshi here. This is going to be a wrestling-based podcast. Yoshi, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing there, Mr. Daly?
I'm doing great. I'm doing very great. We got a lot to talk about. You know, Raw moving to Netflix for the first time this week, and then now we have what was it? SmackDown 3 hours now, and Tiffany winning the championship. We just got a whole lot to talk about.
A lot happened over the last 2 weeks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Yoshi, why don't you go ahead and recap a little bit of Raw?
So we had the Netflix premiere of Raw. Big hit. Ended up knocking out Squid Games season 2, making it second place and making Raw number 1. I mean, hell, we had start off the whole event. The man, the myth, the legend, Dwayne Rock Johnson came out, gave us a big speech, hyped up the crowd. You know, he's the electrifying guy in this industry.
He's gonna disappear for a while now again.
I mean, it's hard to say.
I like watching him.
Yeah.
him. Don't get me wrong. I hate when he disappears, but I get he's a busy guy, so I get it.
Well, I mean, with his movie career and everything like that, though, I can see why, but it'd be nice to see more of him too.
They had a big match of the tribal combat match with Solo and Roman.
Number 1 match, that's what started the one banger. That was the first match of the night, was the tribal combat.
And then you had Rhea Ripley beating Liv Morgan, and no one's heard anything from Liv Morgan, so we're kind of curious to see how that's gonna go. Trying to think what else here. John Cena announced that he's in the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
That's kind of
possibly going. He's possibly going for his record win for a title, 17th.
Yeah. It's kind of sad that growing up watching him and everything, and now he's like, oh yeah, that's the last time is now. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm getting old.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And then you also had Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso, Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. I think that a couple weeks ago, almost a month ago, them kicking off Raw the way they did, that was electric. That was great.
And all the promos leading up to it too, with all their individual interviews they had of them telling their side of the story, and why this one is the best, and why the other one is in the other one's shadow, in a sense. It's just it's a feud that's just started between the two of them.
Yep. Let's go ahead and let's talk about this Solo versus Roman match. That coming out the bat, like you said, it was a great match.
It was a banger for the very first one to start off the premiere. It was.
A lot of people don't like Solo, I guess. He's a great wrestler. He's just not a mic. He's getting better at the mic.
Yep.
Roman's, Roman Reigns. Everyone's fought Roman Reigns on his shit for years. He's like the tribal character. He found his niche and he took it, grabbed the balls, and just he's making a lot of money off of that. I would hope.
I don't know. He's an icon. I mean, with his family giving him the Ulafala, and in a sense making him the tribal chief, is like, hey, we want you to carry on our legacy. And ever since then, he just he ran with it, and he did the best he could to live up to his family's expectations, being the tribal chief of the wrestling industry.
Even too. I mean, just Solo hitting that wicked spinning range on him on the table.
Mm-hmm.
That was insane. That was great. And they followed up by tossing him in the ring stairs and his face, and
Well, on top of that too, it seemed like everybody that night was after Roman Reigns. You had the Bloodline, you had Jacob Fatu and his fucking predecessor come out and try to beat up on Roman Reigns. You had Kevin Owens come out and try to beat up on Roman Reigns with his big old feud with Cody Rhodes. I mean, it just seemed like everybody that night had any relation to Roman Reigns had it out for him that night. They did not want him to win.
Yeah. Yep. And then let's that I don't know. I think that was a great match. I think the storyline. I mean, how long has it been going on for? Like what, 4 years now?
I think so. I thought it might have been 4 years, 3 years, somewhere around that area.
Yeah,
The feud's been starting.
it's just crazy to where it's been at now. It just what was weird. They had The Rock and Cody doing a shot of tequila. Like that to me, like I would have did it differently.
I mean, they do. I mean, I guess they're trying to show in the sense that
It's a respect thing.
enemies, yeah, enemies can become friends or enemies can show respect towards each other.
But
I mean, they're both big legends.
I hope it somehow leads to Cody turning heel because right now I'm not gonna lie, I don't like how Cody's being shown. He's not a fighting champion. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, he has been in his title though. He has
has
been. I mean, we've seen it. I mean, granted, I think the last time what was that? It was Crown Jewel, and now it's the whole Kevin Owens ordeal coming up on the ladder match with Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes for both of the Winged title
right
and the Undisputed Championship belt.
right, but like at the beginning of it wasn't really booked well. He just wasn't around very much.
No.
But now we're kind of getting to that WrestleMania season. Like, oh, now we gotta book him. Like, oh, okay, great, nice. Let's talk about how the Netflix premiere was too. I think a top moment for there was the LA crowd was shouting a lot of stuff during the match of Rollins Sikoa, and Netflix they just allowed it. If it was on USA Network, they probably would not have been allowed.
No. Everyone was saying "F you Solo" the whole time.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
it
they
was
had Travis Scott come out with Jey Uso smoking a blunt.
smoking a blunt. Yep.
That's when like, oh, we're so fucking back, So they say they're not bringing back the Attitude Era, but we're gonna see probably glimpses here and there. But I think it was great. What other match stuck out to you?
I mean, we had the Rhea Ripley and we had the Liv Morgan match. This feud that has been going on forever since SummerSlam, since Rhea Ripley had gotten her fucking title taken from her.
Yeah.
And with Liv being helped out by Dirty Dom, throwing the chair in, helping Liv out. I mean, that shocked the world.
Yeah. I think that. How would you grade her championship run?
Liv?
Yes.
I think Liv I think she's a great wrestler. I mean, The Undertaker himself has even gave praise to Liv Morgan on her championship reign so far. And I don't know, she has the fire attitude. She has the she can get the crowd to communicate with her in a sense too, with how she acts, what she does, her having her bodyguard Raquel next to her having her romantic relationship with Dirty Dom. I mean, or even her interaction with the Judgment Day with everybody else too.
I'm curious what the Judgment Day is gonna do now, because now you already know they're gonna do some smart ass shit with Finn.
Well, nobody in the Judgment Day 2 holds a title anymore.
Yeah. So now
nobody does.
Things are gonna change, or they're gonna go their own ways, or what? So
there's gonna be some changes coming to Judgment Day. I'll put money on it. I think there will be.
I think the way they finally put the nail in the coffin with that story. I think that right there with Rhea winning, I think that their feud's done for a little bit. They might do a little bit still for a little bit, but I think back and forth was every time it's the same people, like how they usually do. Mm-hmm. Now we're gonna see eventually a different challenger. Because
it'll be interesting to see who they try to bring up to be that next girl. I mean, we've had the hints too that Alexis Bliss and Becky Lynch, that they're going to be making the returns this year.
Yep. She was supposed to be on the Raw premiere, Becky Lynch.
Yep.
But they had to make more time for the Undertaker moment.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's still badass though. I mean, he's retired, Hall of Famer.
It's just
coming out
badass, bro. Like that always gets me. It always gets me. I love it.
Bringing out the Harley and everything.
So I mean, Ripley did demolish Morgan with the power bomb to the announce table. And then what? Morgan did kick out of a Riptide straight up with no interference.
I mean, Liv did give Rhea a run for money. She did use some brutal tactics to show her that she deserves to still be the women's champion.
Yep. And I think,
I mean,
with that riptide that she took and got up from, I think that was a big spot for her. So that like really put her over as a wrestler.
oh yeah.
I think Liv, I like Liv Morgan as a wrestler. I think she's
Hmm.
in the wrestling world. She has grown up a
Oh
lot.
yeah.
Like her career has changed, going from the crying phase to, or no, to okay, bad booking with Vince. I might we might even have to make a series called Bad Booking with Vince or something. It'd be kind of funny thinking about it. Um. Anyway, so you go from I'm in a storyline with Rusev and Lana, love story, kind of weird lesbian thing, to being the underdog a little bit, to always crying, winning her first Money in the Bank, which that was great for her. Just I feel like again bad booking at the time had her lose to fucking what's her name, uh, uh, she's a UFC fighter. I can't.
Oh, Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, Rousey. Um, I think that was a bad choice to drop the fucking belt to her at the time, and then now Liv Morgan had this good title run with Rhea, and then she gets hurt by Rhea when Judgment Stage started. So it's a long term storytelling to where she won the revenge tour, blah blah blah. Get to where we're at now. Here we are. I think that right there, that was a good way to get your career back on track and everything.
I mean, she was so popular too. Liv Morgan was as the baby face.
Yep.
And then when she turned heel, that even got people more interested in Liv's career and how she's going to go about things now.
Yeah. And now let's move on to the Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre match. You got Jey Uso. He another guy who people probably thought he was just a straight up tag team kind of guy for his whole career, but he's doing better than his brother. His brother's just doing stuff with the bloodline now, and I think I don't think they really see him as a singles competitor as much as I would think, but I think he's all right.
Well, you got to think though that Jey came from the bloodline himself too, with rolling around with Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And then he got to a point too where he's like, I want to get out there and I want to make a name for myself, not as a group, but as an individual. And I mean, that's what he did. He came out as Jey Uso, no bloodline relationship. He, cut him off, went out, won the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
Held it for a while, and then ended up ultimately losing it again.
Yeah. I thought it was all right match. I give it about a B plus. You got McIntyre with taking a few super kicks and whatever, and the spear, but he kicked out. At the end of the day, McIntyre won that one with the crucifix pin for the 3.
All Drew wanted to do though too is just go after all the bloodline. Anybody that had a relationship to Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
I mean, it started with fucking Sami Zayn, and then it went to, Jey Uso, and then Jimmy Uso. I mean, he was just trying to take everybody out on his list, and that was even involving Solo Sikoa. But even after, no matter how the tribal war turned out with Solo or Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre still had Solo on his list, so he was taking on everybody from the bloodline because he felt like they all had wronged him.
So my top moments and takeaways from that match is, like I said, Travis Scott coming out smoking, that was surreal. Because you don't see that on WWE TV at all. And he also had Cole and McAfee on the table yeeting during his entrance. And I gotta say, props to Cole. He did a fantastic job of catching up people that are first time viewers and everything, and kind of catching people up on the storyline.
I mean, Cole too. He's the fact that he was still up on the tables with Pat McIntyre. Pat McAfee. My bad. Pat McIntyre. Yeah, Pat McAfee. Cole's getting old, man. He's been doing this for 27 years, going on 28 years. I mean, he ain't no spring chicken no more. So the fact that
I
He
think
even got up there.
ever since they hired McAfee and then the change of leadership and everything, I think Cole is finally bringing his old self back. He's feel like he could do more because now he doesn't have a fucking collar on his fucking neck, and now here he
Mm,
is.
he's
Um,
not chained down anymore in a sense.
now we got another big match. You got Seth Rollins and CM Punk.
No,
That
that was the match.
oof, I want to see them go use weapons on each other. That would be a good one.
Mm,
Um, so they traded control of the match quite a bit. So, um, neither of them were kind of gaining, the upper hand at one point.
hmm
Um, they had a good kick in the face by Punk a little bit, and then you also had some fist fights out in the crowd on the floor. I think, right?
I don't know about. I know they were outside the ring multiple times too,
Yeah.
throwing each other around, slamming them, shoving tables.
And then
Um,
you had
all that.
Seth Rollins. He set up Punk for a the Falcons arrow, but he countered and delivered the GTS and then won.
hmm
Um, I hope to see them still go at it. I think
I mean, it's still an untold story. I mean, Punk still thinks that Seth Rollins is still falling along in the shadow, and Seth Rollins thinks that he's better than CM Punk now. That he's the number one greatest.
yeah,
I mean, but if you look at both of the careers, though, I mean, Seth Rollins, I loved it when him and Bronson Reed, those three matches they had,
yeah,
and them always going after each other was awesome.
and that helped Bronson Reed with his career, and now he's part of
Oh yeah,
the new age bloodline. Like, I think that's cool. And I'm still hoping he has a good speedy recovery from that big old splash. That was awesome.
yeah. I remember. I think some post he said he had that little the little wheelchair where you put your one
Mm-hmm.
leg on.
Mm-hmm.
He was rolling around in one of those, so I think he's recovering pretty good.
Another thing I'm going to take away from that as well, Michael Cole, he talked about how he brought up a young Colby Lopez, which is his old wrestling name in the Indies, um, who's now known as Seth Rollins. But I'm just saying we did not have that on our bingo card that early this year. Um,
No,
I think the crowd was actually legitimately split 50-50 for the main event. You had altering chants for each man raining down from the stands, and then you also had Rollins delivering a pedigree on the announce table, but it also looked like he had, injured his left knee or
hmm
leg in the process. So I think his, ACL stuff and all that, from his past injuries are catching up to him a little bit.
I
But
mean it's hard to take away too, though, the fact that CM Punk has been in the industry longer, and his name holds a lot more weight than Seth Rollins does at the moment. I know CM Punk, he took his, we'll call it sabbatical, away from WWE because of Vince McMahon
mhm,
and the unfair treatment he was getting from him. But look at him now. It's not the long-haired CM Punk with the lip piercing anymore. It's more of a refined attitude CM Punk.
yeah.
He's coming back, and he's come back for blood in a sense to make himself great again, to show that he still is the world's best.
So yeah, what overall grade would you give? I guess what you call it, the Raw. What would you give Raw? I give it an A
Oh,
plus, a good
the
premiere.
premiere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll give it A plus all day.
Out of any
I mean it.
premieres I've seen, that's probably the best. And everyone was worried about the streaming, so it's like, and I think
There are no problems with
yeah,
it either. No buffering,
yeah. But
unlike
yet
the
again,
Jake
that's one
Paul and
time.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, we saw a big old ass.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it was awesome, and I can't wait for next Monday for another premiere on Netflix. I'm excited to see where this goes. I think with we talked about Vince here for a little bit. I will make it short though, but I think the way that Triple H has gone about things has he's the reason why that Raw and wrestling is so popular is more popular now
Yeah,
than
and
when it was.
that's what he's always wanted to do. From just him starting NXT, giving it over to Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels, I think Shawn Michaels had a little bit of a rocky start with Vince in it, and when he was
Yeah.
under the machine. But now there's some more stories in there, and it's starting to get more of a bigger thing. And we can always go on that whenever, because I mean we're just doing results right now. So,
Yep.
um, Triple H, I think he's great for business. And I know Stephanie McMahon helps now because her dad ain't it. And I don't think, because of the thing,
Hmm.
um, I don't think she wants nothing to do with her dad. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about Shane if I say that about Shane, because I'm not a McMahon, so how would I know? I'm not close.
Hmm.
So
Exactly.
um overall, WWE right now is going good. I just hope this brings more into the brand, like versing brand stuff, the way they're doing it. But that's another time we can talk about that. Let's go on to SmackDown. I think it was the second night they're doing or is this the first night they're doing 3 hours?
I think this was the second night.
So second night they kicked off with Chelsea Green and Mission, which is Mia Yim. Underrated. I honestly think Mia Yim is very underrated. I'm glad that Chelsea Green is getting her flowers finally. She has had a long career up and down other places. Even her husband, Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, great, great athlete. But call me a dick rider all you want, but that's just my opinion. So anyway, they had a match. Green defeating Mission. I think it was her first title defense. Yes.
Yep, this was her first title
Um,
defense. It was.
you know, uh, see here. I'm just kind of also reading results because I didn't get to watch SmackDown last night.
No, you're good.
Um,
No, Chelsea Green came out with her right hand lady dressed up as a security guard in a
Jesus Christ.
very blingy black suit coat,
Mm-hmm.
wearing the glasses and the little earpiece, trying to make her look like the Miss America in a sense. I mean, when Chelsea Green won her USA Women's title, she came out looking like Lady Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
Had a nice presidential stand for the stage and the flags and the podium, and it's Chelsea Green. She's been the funny girl. She's been the girl that has the fastest time getting kicked out of a Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been there. She's been at the bottom. She's been in the middle. She's been the top, and through the whole cycles. And I mean, she's getting the publicity that I think that she deserves, and she's just taking that by the balls, and she's just running with it, saying that I am the greatest, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone should look at me.
Well, technically, I mean, what she's doing is smart. I'm not gonna
It
lie,
is.
because one, she's saying I'm the greatest. I'm the only this. I'm only that. With that, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's good heel shit right there. That's old school right there. I think
Mm.
that's a good old classic. Whatchamacallit, heel. Some observations and stuff. There's a funny audio glitch for a second when you could hear Heyman Laird on the top of himself like an echo. Um, I think Green, is really learning how to be, or no, not learning, leaning into the patriotic imagery with her gear, which is good. Because what's funny, she's Canadian, so like,
Yep.
as another Canadian to another Canadian, I think that's funny. Um, you know what? And Mia Yim, she's hitting them her Karanas pretty good. So
She is. I mean, I know Mitch, and she's been getting you know, Triple H sees her as a good wrestler, and has acknowledged her in a sense. But I still kind of feel like she still has a little bit to go. Mitchin does. I feel like her moves are still kind of sloppy. They don't flow very well. Um, she has the attitude for what she's going for the United States Women's Championship. Going after Chelsea Green. But I feel like her moves still need to be refined, and her flow
yeah.
still does too.
Next match out of the seven is you got Las Garzas, I think, right? Garzas.
Yeah,
This is
Garza's.
pretty deadly. Um, to
Pretty
me,
deadly.
this just sounds like, pretty sure to me it sounds like that was a snooze fest.
Yeah, I mean, pretty deadly. They're a funny group of guys. I'll admit. I got to see them in person. they're funny. When you first see them, you think they're women because the long hair,
Yeah.
the girlier outfits. But I mean that's what works for them.
Yeah.
They in a sense act like they're a couple almost.
Yeah. We don't need to go more
And
into that.
yeah.
Don't want to
But I
get
mean
canceled on the first episode,
right. I mean
Um,
I did roll with it that way. They're goofier guys who are
I
like
think they're funny. Don't get me wrong.
I think they're funny too. I think they're like the passive aggressive type. They'll do it, but they'll still act kind of like feminine about the whole
Right,
ordeal.
right. So we're not gonna really talk much about that match. There's nothing to really talk about it. But
No.
you got another match. You got Shinsuke Nakamura versus LA Knight.
Yeah.
That was a good match. Probably about a B. He defended his title against Knight.
Oh, he got jumped.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he there was when Bloodline came out during one of the matches and oh man, what was that when they came out? I can't remember now. But Bloodline came out during one of the matches and they were making a scene in the back. And LA Knight was about to go out, and the security guards could not get them to leave the area. So LA Knight comes, kicks Jacob Fatu and his partner out, and he's like, "We need to get them hell out of here. I got a match to win tonight." Yeah. And that's when, and then that led up to LA Knight getting jumped facing Shinsuke for the title.
Nakamura entrance is awesome, but I feel like he's missing a little bit of detail. Just one little detail. I don't know what it is, but it looks like Nakamura has put on some muscle.
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I think he's put on some weight. I don't know about muscle per se, but I think he's definitely put on some weight over the years. Because he had that little, he was away for about 3-4 months. He was out, and he came back, and that's when he made his run at fucking LA.
Yeah. And now you got the A-Town Down Under versus Motor City Machine Guns, a very old tag team group from TNA days. I remember them watching them. Man, I wish they would have been WWE earlier, but now they're well, we won't get into that. That looked like it'd be a great match. I don't mind A-Town Under. To be honest, I think they're good. I think they deserve another shot.
They're fit guys, they're funny. They do a lot of smack talking, I think, which was kind of makes them more, they always say that bad publicity is still good. It's still publicity either way you look at it. And they take that into full effect. Mm-hmm. And, Motor Machine Gun, those guys, they came in, they, came to SmackDown, had their debut, did a couple matches, and the next thing you know that they are the holders of the tag team titles.
Yeah.
And then, they were good friends with DIY, one of the members of DIY, and, DIY helped them out for a bit. Just one member did. And then all of a sudden that member said, no, like, we want the titles now.
Yeah.
So I hope to see Motor City take another run at DIY for the tag team titles and get them back, because I do think they're a good group of guys, and they're athletic. They're good. They're not afraid to be high flyers. They're not afraid to do a little bit more riskier stuff. So I think they would make a great, tag team title holders again.
Yeah. And, I think Waller is pretty underrated about when he sells to his opponents. I think he does great.
Mm-hmm.
Another big one, you got Naomi versus Bianca Belair and Bayley and Nia Jax.
Four-way.
I ain't gonna lie. Why the hell is Candice LeRae in there? Why is she like? She was good in NXT with her. I love the Gargano way. That was great. And then they split it all up, and I was like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah, so she kind of came out of nowhere. Decided that she wanted to be buddy with Nia Jax.
Yeah.
Going into War Games.
Which there should have been someone else instead of her in there. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like,
she still holds the old school speed title or speed pin match or whatever it is. She was the fastest one to pin somebody.
That whole thing's a joke. I don't know why they do that.
I mean, it's not anymore though. But I mean, yeah, she kind of came into this. She kind of befriended Nia Jax, try to push out Tiffany Stratton when Tiffany's been there with Nia Jax for a long time, helping her out. And I was really excited to hear and see that Tiffany Stratton finally used her Money in the Bank against Nia Jax for the women's title.
Can we just
I
give
mean,
Nia Jax her flowers though? Can we give her flowers? I think she's really improved the last few years, honestly.
I don't know, man. I do not like Nia Jax. I
think she plays the bully character pretty well versus when she first got in the WWE. She's like, I'm all girly and fun and nice, and now she's like the bully, and yeah, I think she does all right. But and then you had Tiffany. She wasn't acting like a complete baby face, but the heel tendencies were still there, and not they haven't faded away. Which I like that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think when people do that, it's funny. I don't know. I still think Naomi is the one with Jade that did it, but that's just a long shot.
I still think I think it's Bianca who
that too. That's
took a hit at her. Took a hit at Jade.
And now you got Jimmy Uso and Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. I've been watching Tama Tonga for years. Back when he was in New Japan with the Bullet Club and AJ and Luke Gallows, Anderson, everything, the Bucks. Which, one day we'll talk about AEW here, but I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be a company anytime. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
How was that match? What did you think of that match?
It was good. I mean, the pairing up with Jimmy and Cody, Cody's been there to help out Roman Reigns in his time of need sometimes. He's been a part of it. Jimmy coming back from industry, being a loyal guy to, Roman Reigns. There is conflict because that night, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Paul Heyman, told Cody to his face that Roman Reigns is coming back for his title. And as a courtesy and as a show of respect, he wanted to be able to tell Cody that in person. So then hearing that, Cody still chose to team up with Jimmy to go against, Jacob and Tama Tonga. And, I think that's, it's great to see that there's still respect between opponents and people in the bloodline with, Cody Rhodes. I think it was a good match. I still think that the bloodline, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what it is with them still jumping guys. I mean, Solo is not the tribal chief no more. What's the deal with still trying to be these bad guys? Why not, devise your next plan? Yeah. What are you getting out of jumping everybody again?
Yeah. So I think that was pretty well put. What would you grade SmackDown?
This last one, I'd probably give it a B plus, B minus.
I give it about a C plus from what I've
seen.
So,
I mean, it's hard to going from the premiere of Monday Night Raw on Netflix and then going to that week's SmackDown. It's hard to try to make a comparison because Raw has become so big and SmackDown, it's still trying to get there.
I think they should move SmackDown and NXT on Netflix. After watching that premiere, I was like, oh yeah, they need to. I even texted it like right away. I'm like, they need to.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. You have anything else for Raw and SmackDown at all?
I mean, just the fact that we talking about the women's 4-way. Bayley was the winner of that. I know we never said the winner of the results of that one.
My bad.
Bayley was the winner. And what do you think about Bayley? She was another girl who she went away for a bit and then she came back. What do you think about her?
I think she's kind of cringy now, to be honest with you.
I'm right there with you. I think the same way with her.
It's cringy. I ain't gonna lie.
But I mean, she's the girl. She won it.
It's like she seems like she doesn't know what she wants to do.
Yeah,
She's like, oh,
She's
1 minute I want to be good, 1 minute I want to be bad, and then all of a sudden this, I want to be that.
I mean, I liked her entrance coming out when Nia was trying to talk smack to Tiffany,
Yeah.
and she came out and started talking smack to Nia. I did like that, and then having Bianca and Naomi come out too.
Yeah.
I think that interaction with all those girls was good, and the match itself wasn't bad. I'm not a fan of Nia. I'm not a fan of Bailey. I like Bianca. I like Naomi. I think they're both great wrestlers. They're very athletic. Um, but they're Nia and Bianca both hold the women's titles right now for tag teams. So I think that should kind of maybe exclude them a little bit from this title match with Tiffany.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I told the wife already. I told her that it's like Tiffany's gonna beat Bailey.
Yeah.
I think Tiffany, at the two girls, Tiffany is better than Bailey. And I'm excited to see the match, but that's my predictions. I think that Tiffany will retain her title against Bailey, and Bailey's going to get knocked down, and then there's going to be another girl in line trying to go after Tiffany, whether it be Nia or Bianca, Naomi, or
It's probably going to be
who
Charlotte
knows.
because Charlotte's supposed to come back soon.
And I've seen that she was been training too with some girls at the headquarters or the training camp, I should say.
So yeah, that's your guys' results for SmackDown and Raw. Let's do some things here. Who would you think was the most improved wrestler of 2024? Let's see that.
Best improved wrestler. Oh boy. Male. So am I asking for in general, male or female?
Both.
Both.
Yep.
Liv Morgan for the women's side, I believe. I'm gonna stick with her. I think her improvement was really good with her title, with her retaining her title. And then men's, I'm gonna say Seth Rollins because he had a heck of a career in 2024. And I say that too in light of the whole Bronson Reed thing because he's told them, he's like, I've taken down monsters, I've taken down giants, I've taken down titans. I think he had a great year. I think he's really improved and he's really shown that I want to be number one. So those are my two picks: Liv Morgan and Seth Rollins for 2024.
Nice. This is gonna be kind of mine for men will be Jey Uso.
Okay.
I think he's really improved as a single star. He proved that he could do it. He could hold a title. I honestly think he could be a world heavyweight champion one of these days. Female wise, Mia Yim. I think I know I'm dick riding with her, but actually no, it has to be a toss up between Chelsea or Mia Yim.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the fact I think Chelsea has done whatever she can to get over with the W fans, and she's good at what she does. She always has been. Mia Yim, her hardcore kind of style and the badass game, like she's mixing a bunch of gimmicks into one, and it's awesome. I think it's great. I think they've done more storylines with them. But yeah, I mean that's who I got. The worst people I think this year that kind of like fell off a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be opposite of you. Well, no, I don't want to say Seth entirely because Seth has done well, but he did miss part of the year. That's a really big toss up on that one, dog. Say Rey Mysterio, to be honest. He's just kind of he's just
I think Rey needs to close the needs to close the yearbook.
He just needs to close the career at this point.
Yeah, he just needs to be done.
It's nice. I'm just getting tired. They booked LWO very awful. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think they could have really did something with it. It was good at first, but now it's like, okay, yeah, another match. In fact, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll also add too. What was his name? The leader of Phantasmo.
God.
I can't think of his name though. He has the Garzas with him and everything. He's kind of been disappointing. Um, I can't. Oh, Berto.
Alberto, yeah. Okay,
No,
yeah.
no, no, no. Santos Escobar. Santos Escobar. You know that dude has so much potential, but they're wasting it.
Hmm.
I like that mafia cartel style of like group. I think it'd be great, but oh well. Female wise, let's see here. Candice LeRae.
Kansas LeRae, yeah.
Yeah,
She's just so tiny,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I mean,
Who's yours?
I'll agree with you on Kansas LeRae. I'm not a big fan of hers. I don't know. I don't see her as a good competitor.
Yeah,
Men wise, kind of fall off. Um, man, dude. I don't want to jump on the bandwagon with Rey Mysterio because I know he's a legend. He's a Hall of
yeah.
Famer.
That's why it was kind of hard for me to do.
Um, me, I don't know. Like, I don't. DIY is doing good, and I want to say like a DIY. I want to say the DIY guys, but
Their storyline has kind of been cringy.
it has been, and I mean, like, into no, okay, I know my state of a fall off is the Miz. The Miz has been a fall off because he can't
Yeah.
decide. He cannot decide who he wants to, what he wants to be in a sense. Does he want to be this heel? Does he want to be a babyface? I mean, he acts like a douchebag, but then he gets jumped and he wants to, plead for his life.
Um. Now let's go with most improved. I'm gonna go Karrion Cross.
Most improved wrestler.
Yeah, that's gonna be a kind of a hot take on that, but I think he's finally getting people to go with the Final Testament. I kind of like what they're doing, but I wish they would do more with it.
Mm-hmm.
Just the idea is there.
Who's Chelsea's Green's right hand woman? I
Piper.
always forget her name. Piper Nevins. I think she has for most improvement. I think it's been her for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could see that she's been losing the weight. You could tell that she seems to get slimmer and slimmer every time we see her now. She keeps up. She takes the bump. She gives the bumps. I mean, I think she's been really improved with her beating Chelsea Green, trying to be that right hand woman for her. She's better herself to try to help Chelsea out.
Mine will be Maxine. I think she's been improving on camera, and to be honest, we would have saw that faction die by now if it was Vince. I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think they're helping her. I think Otis has been helping her. Zawa is still funny, but you know what? It's whatever.
Yeah. I mean, men wise too. I think I would say like Otis.
Otis, yeah.
I've really like seeing Otis this year. He's been. I mean, he's just a big funny guy,
Yeah.
But I think for me, I think he's been like the most improved.
What do you think the
He's
most disappointing storyline has been? Like it had hype, like a lot of hype, and then just
LA9. She's gay.
yeah.
I haven't. I don't know. I don't like the storyline. There's just not a whole lot there to go off of.
I thought we were gonna see Perk Gable, but boy was I wrong. They've just been booking him like a dumbass.
Yeah.
But
1-2 coming in the future, we might see more of
and
with
Otis
Logan.
was sorry, I was gonna say real
Oh,
quick.
no, go ahead.
Otis was so over during the Gable thing.
Oh yeah, Dan
He
Gable
was so
and the
over.
American Made.
And they blew it. Which I mean, that's like second nature to them anyway. So
I mean, he put up a hell of a show though with Gable though.
he did.
I mean, they both went after each other. Otis got he got beat up pretty well, but he kept going. Showing that spirit inside of him.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for American Made. I think they're a goofy bunch of people, but
It has
it is what
potential.
it is. It has, but I don't know. I don't know.
And you were gonna say which one?
Oh, I lost my train of thought.
Well, blame me, I guess. Fuck you, I guess.
Nah, that's all right.
Anyway, you have anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I think we kind of covered up the topics of kind of the week and a half we had with Tiffany and title changes going on and the premiere and everything that happened this last Friday. So
yeah, a good time. It was a good time. If not, I mean, I don't have anything else. We can close it off.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
All right. So this was the Heavyweight Havocs. I got to make sure I don't do my other intro. Then I start saying something like, wait a minute, So this has been the Heavyweight Havocs. I'm Kale. This is Yoshi. Make sure to follow us all on our social media. It is at Heavyweight Havoc, if I remember. So yeah, let us know what you think, and then if we want to keep making more of these or ideas, throw them our way. This is gonna be basically a strictly wrestling channel deal we're doing. We're not gonna do audio on like any podcast audio sites. We're just doing straight on YouTube. If I remember that we talked about. Yoshi.
What? What were you saying?
We're gonna be basically a just strictly YouTube podcast then.
Yep, just strictly YouTube podcast. So you guys want any topics in the wrestling industry for pro wrestling, leave a comment for us. We'll see if we can make something out of it. You guys have any questions for us, or if we need to change some stuff up, like I said, throw in those comments. We'll do our best to change things up and edit it. Not everything's going to be just, us in two different locations.
Yeah.
We're going to try to get together and do.
I have a whole studio in my house, my upstairs.
Yeah.
It's my game room, studio, whatever. Be a good time.
Besides that, let us know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, and you want to close this out, Kale?
Yeah. So yeah, everyone, like I said, this is our first episode. Follow us on all the social media. I also want to say that this podcast, if you are coming from my personal podcast of the TNT Boys with Sam and I, this is not associated with the Agent Life Media Group. This is just a separate thing. So yeah, I'm happy to see where it goes.
Yes, sir. I'm very excited to do this.
All right. Y'all have a good one.